white male poets apparently not welcome in Yale's classrooms. Undergraduates at Yale University have launched a petition calling on the English department to abolish a core course requirement. That course studies some of the most famous authors in the world, like Shakespeare and Chaucer. So why do students want them out? Get this, because they're white. And it creates a, quote, hostile culture. Yale student Zach Young, who is against this petition, is here to go on the record. Thanks for joining us in studio tonight. This seems crazy. Did you ever think you would go to school at a great university like Yale and there would be this kind of censorship? Why are you against this petition?
Well, I think this petition is wrong both in its idea and in its tactics. So first, the idea. I think we should be judging works based on their merits and historical significance, not the race of their author. And I think that should be a pretty universal principle. But second, I think the tactics are wrong too. I think when you disagree with your professors, the best way to handle it isn't creating a petition that gets 160 signatures and then telling your professors it's unethical if they disagree with you.
It's pretty unbelievable. So this one I want to kind of break this down to, do the students actually know what the curriculum is specifically, for the course before they sign up, so they know that these specific authors are going to be studied?
Exactly. It's one of the prerequisite courses for the English major, and it's a year-long poetry course that includes 8 great English poets. And
so now what they want to edit the list, so the greatness is going to be like liquid papered out? I mean, it makes no sense to me. How are you supposed to be able to get this valuable education to people that were so integral to the development, of writing and the English language, and people like Shakespeare? I mean, this makes no sense.
Right. Well, their argument is that of the 8 poets, all are white men, and therefore this creates a hostile climate for students who do not bear those demographics. Now, if we were to take that logic in another field like physics, of course, we'd be missing out on some of the great foundational discoveries, because sometimes it's not always the most diverse pool that was there at the founding. In terms of the English language, if you go back to the foundational texts in that English language, it happens to be from mainly white men. And so that's why these works have been chosen.
So, but here's the problem. So what are you going to do? You're going to erase history? Are they going to be upset and frustrated if there's a course on American presidents and they don't like that George Washington or other presidents were white? I mean, you don't decide and get to delete history.
Right. And I think the curriculum itself shouldn't be chosen by students. I think it's up really to the faculty to deliberate and have a dialogue about what are the most important things for an English major in the 21st century to learn. And I think if the students had a disagreement with that, as individuals, they could have come to their professor and explained their disagreement and left it then to the professor with their expertise and years of experience to make a decision, as opposed to putting them in a really tight spot here where they look like they're against a movement on campus that's pretty widespread if they reject the announcement. And so I think it's going to be very hard for a professor to come out against it.
Yeah, it's more of this safe spaces and microaggressions, and I mean, whatever happened to going to to a university, getting great education, debating both sides of an issue and opening your mind. I mean, that's the whole point of an education, I can tell you that as a teacher. Well, Zach, you certainly have been a pleasure to have tonight. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.